We are putting in some chain link fence, a double gate for the front, doing a little fence, squaring this off, putting a gate, fencing this off so that this is closed off. And the main thing is we're putting the fence this off. But I gotta work my way back to that fence, so I gotta clear some of this stuff out. Cutting as close as I can. I don't want to go too far down, to just kind of go around the gate where that walkway is and then continue the fence to the pool enclosure. This might be something that I work on at some point. So something happened. He said this post went up, this sunk down. It kind of created that little bump area there, so it's kind of like binded up. So it's one of the things I might work on, and get it back level again, so it doesn't have all that, and it's not all, it's like angled right now. I'm not going to be able to take the chain link fence to the wood fence. All this is part of a tree, so I'll have to end it. I got to figure out how I'm going to fill that space in. Okay, so I'm setting the terminal posts. The terminal posts are like 2.5 inch end and corner posts. So this is a 4-foot fence. So for these posts, I have to set 2 inches higher. So they're going to be set at 50 inches. So this landscape ground here, it just slopes up and down. So I'm going to have to break the fence apart. I have to add another terminal post here, so that this is going to be one stretch of fence, and then the other side of that post is going to stretch a separate fence here. That'll be a line post, so a skinnier, shorter post. 10 feet apart is where you want to set your chain link post. So 10 feet from there is going to be my next terminal post, and then I have a line post, terminal post, and then on that end it's like 24 feet, so I'm just going to break it up in 8-foot sections. Now that'll be the rest for back here. I set the gate post here, and then to finish up the rest of the way up to the screen porch. Alright, we got all the posts set. There's a gate going here. Corner. The gate. And this post I have to cut and attach it to the wall, because there's all kinds of stuff like a footer, hoses and pipes and all kinds of stuff that I cannot put anything close to it. Whatever height the fence is, you need one less band. I'll show you all that tomorrow. I'll go through. I got tension bands, brace bands, tension bars, railings, caps. You know, there's a lot of different fittings and pieces that go with it. Alright, so these are our tension bands. As you see, it's the way it's bent. You got a curve here and a straight here. This straight is the outside of your fence. I have them backwards right now. I got to flip them around. So the outside of the fence is this side. So I have to make sure that the straight end goes out here, because this bends it in so that the fence is going on this side of the post, which you want, because when it runs down the fence line, you want it to be on that side of the line post. So like the brace band, you know, it's shorter and it's centered, which you want to be centered for this, because it's the rail end. The top rail is going to go from here, and it's going to go through the center of your fence line. 1, 2, 3. And brace. So your rail end, obviously your railing goes through here, and it's going to hook on here. You want to loop it this way where it loops down. The only way you'll usually flip it, let me get home. So this post is going to be an end, but just to show you what it's like if you do a corner, whether you're doing a corner or this is going that way. But you want to, this one's actually going to loop up, and then this one's going to loop down. So they meet, it meets in the middle. You want all your nets to be on the inside of the fence. This is going to go on top of your line post, and your railing goes through here. Again, there's an outside and an inside. Where it loops this way, you want this to go towards the outside. It just goes right there and through or into your rail end. And as you can see, it does go up. So what I'll have to do is get a mark on that. I'll mark this. They actually have pipe benders, which I don't have. So what I'll do, mark it, and then I'll take it to something like wedge it in between. I mean, there's some trees that are pretty close, or you know, parts of my truck, or somewhere where you can kind of put it through at that mark and then bend it, and then obviously test it out and see if it's the angle that you need. This top rail has a skinny end and then a thicker end, and these ones are made so that they can sleeve into each other. If they don't have the built-in or the prefabbed, you know, skinny and thick end to sleeve into each other, you'll have to get separate sleeves that'll sleeve both railings together. As you can see, when I did bend it, I made sure that the part that was coming up is the small end, and then I'll measure whatever my measurement is. I'll measure it from the thick end, because this is going to be the end that attaches here, and then my cut end will be in where the rail end is. So I just got to make sure everything's tight on that end. They have special pipe cutters to make it easier and safer to cut these, which I have a Sawzall with a metal blade on it. What I want to make sure that I do is, when all my railings in, I gotta tighten all the bolts, because once I start attaching and stretching the fence, this railing is going to be what braces and keeps my posts and everything together. This stuff is really easy to take apart and add on to. Just bend the ends and just to pop it out, and then you kind of wiggle it and look at the other end to see. You can see the part that's moving, that is the one that you want to take off, and then you do the same on the bottom and just keep turning it and turning it, and it spirals all the way out. Or if you need to add a piece, you just spiral it back in. So there are two different kinds of strands, so you have to make sure that whatever you're adding is going to be the one that it's supposed to be, because you have, you know, full diamond, and then you have this one that bends this way on half a diamond, and then this one that bends the other way at the other half. Just leave that on the end all the way down. You don't want to tighten these bolts all the way yet until it's completely stretched out, but do make sure that the bolt is in far enough to where when you do stretch it, it's not going to pop off. Trying to make sure nothing's catching on to it. Not too many that'll interfere with me stretching the fence, but I'll add some fence ties. When I stretch the fence, it's going to move. I got to make sure that I'm either far over here or on the other side of this post. So I have my tension bar, I have a 3-prong, and then I have my come along. I got this morning, and it was the only one that they had, which isn't the one that I needed, or at least the one that I'm used to using. I didn't realize they have a cable one, which is the one I need, or that I use. You have the strap, and then there's a rope. I'm going to try to use this one. Try to get it in there as much as I could. It's already full in there, so all this excess, I'll wrap it around the post and then come back to the come along. Check the tension. You know, you don't want it too loose or too tight, so you just kind of squeeze the diamond. That's what sucks about this long strap that I have here, is I like to do obviously want to be as close to that post as possible so that it's tight all the way up there. Now I got all that loose stuff there that I have to make sure I pull tighter, because there is this pull bar that latches onto the tension bar and then goes on the post, and when you pull it, it tightens it at the end, which I also don't have. Obviously the tension here is good, but then I have to make sure I keep that same tension after the come along. Half a diamond above the railing. There. I gotta put the caps on all the terminal posts. I gotta get a deep socket so it tightens it all the way. I gotta add an extension to close that in. So like I was saying, there's a pull bar that hooks into the tension bar and then holds up against the post, and then when you pull it, it pulls it tight. What I did use that still kind of works is these quick grips. This does come in handy to help with the little small areas. They have these brackets here that hold the post, and then they have a flange on it that you can screw into, like here I got it going into the green enclosure, and over on by the house I have it Tapcon into the block. Go in with it, go out with it. Same thing here where I have that bracket mount to the wall, and then I can cut the post where I need it and have it attached to the house where I can't get it into the ground. Also got the brackets here, and I'm about to hang these gates. I'll just kind of show you here what I had to do. If it was a straight fence, a straight level fence, then obviously you run your tension bars straight down the groove there, and the link goes straight down. But with it being on an angle, you have to run your tension bar in an angle. So you start off with in the end, and as you can see here where it's kind of snipped and wrapped there, snipped and wrapped. So I have to, when I'm running the bar down, I have to go down and then skip over a link and then keep going over until it reaches a straight, straight line to attach to the post. After you weave it all the way through and whatever angle you need, then you start snipping out all the excess that you don't need and then bending the ends, especially like this end and this end. Just a little bit of customizing there to kind of work with your angle. So I'm done with everything except for this bit here. I think I have a couple extra brace bands. Probably just do 1, 2 brace bands here, and then bolt it to the fence and tack it somehow on that end with chain link, just to block this area out